What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live. Today, we got a preview of Game 3. We will talk about what the Blazers need to do to get a win tonight. We will talk about the other action that has occurred since we were last live, and we will talk about NBA fans and how they're getting out of hand. The Russell Westbrook popcorn incident, we'll touch on that as well. Hopefully your days are going well. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thursday. We got a big game tonight as Blazer fans. Pivotal Game 3, a pretty important game for Portland. You don't want to hand back home court advantage, so hopefully they can get things done later tonight. I see a lot of people discussing on what channel that game will be on, and somebody asked if it's going to be on NBC Sports Northwest. It will be on NBC Sports Northwest, and then it will also be on NBA TV, which will be blacked out, most likely, unless you're outside of like the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest. Then you'd be able to watch it on NBA TV. If you're inside the Pacific Northwest, good chance it gets blacked out. So, just wanted to clear that up for anybody wondering in the comment section. I realized we had a stream at 3:35. I say we'll go live between 3:30 and 3:45 against at 3:35. I was like, oh wait, it's Thursday. We're supposed to be streaming. And so in terms of like the graphical stuff from the games, I am not prepared. I'm slacking, but we can still touch on them as we go along, and then of course we'll get the graphics for tonight for other games. Even if we lose, that's my promise for tonight. I will do the graphics even if we're ranting. So anyway, Eric, how's your day going, man? How's things going for you, bro?
Oh, fine. Kind of nervously anticipating this game tonight.
Yeah, I'm not nervous at all. Somebody asked
if
I was nervous last night, and I don't know. I'm not nervous for this game, surprisingly. I don't know. I haven't really gotten nervous for playoff games this year. I'm just kind of like, whatever. But I don't know. If they start screwing up and doing dumb stuff, then I'll be mad,
Yeah.
But it's not like a nervousness.
I definitely see your point. I'm guessing you're looking at it as either way, there's a silver lining, right? Even if we lose.
Yeah. I really want us to win.
Yeah. That's my thing, is like, I still want us to, I feel like we should beat Denver. So, if we don't, I'm going to be mad that we lost, and the people that don't blame coaching will be out in full force this summer too. I just, like Jackson says, I just feel like it's going to be annoying if we lose versus...
Well, I'm just not going on Twitter for a whole summer. That's definitely a lie, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to listen to people. There's going to be if we lose the series, there's going to be people saying all sorts of stuff, and I'm just going to have to ignore it. Mm-hmm. Because I feel you on that one. But we just got Game 3 to worry about tonight. We'll take this one game at a time. We'll talk about adjustments and whatnot. So, Eric, I don't know what to start with. Is there anything specifically you want to start with?
Let's start with the fan situation, and then finish with the Blazers.
All right. So hopefully nobody in chat and watching this is living under a rock. But in case you are, a fan dumps popcorn on Russell Westbrook as he's leaving the floor. He sprained his ankle, was leaving the floor. Fan dumped popcorn on him, this big incident deal, and Westbrook was being held back by like 6 guys because he wanted to either see who it was or go up in the stands and, confront the guy. Can't really blame him. That's very disrespectful. You also had a fan spitting on Trae Young. A Knicks fan spitting on Trae Young, which is just as bad, if not worse. I don't know if Trae Young... I didn't see the clip. Did you see the clip of that, Eric?
The Trae Young?
Yeah. Yes. Oh. Eric... Your internet back. Eric's been having connection problems, so I think that's what just happened with you. You got one beep in, Eric. You got censored, bro.
I did see the Trae Young spitting thing. Yes.
Did he even know? Did he even notice?
I didn't look like he noticed, no.
Yeah.
It looked like he just thought like it was sweat dripping down or something.
Yeah. So obviously that wasn't as big of a spectacle, but that's just, man, if you're going to go to a game, why do that? Why risk that? Why, like, what are you gaining? What are you trying to do? Like, I don't understand that, man. Like, Trae Young was, shushing the crowd after the end of game one. It's just like, I don't know. It doesn't excuse any of that, man. It's sports. So you had the popcorn incident, you had the fan spitting incident, you had the Nuggets fan incident, where I can't really repeat what was said, but if you're on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. And that was a situation where Zach and Nas were basically yelling at this fan that was yelling a bunch of just bad things at the Blazers as they were leaving the court after their loss. That dumb fan also said Blazers in 6 on accident, so, that guy obviously is not too smart. That's not as bad as the popcorn thing or the spitting thing, in my opinion, but still, it just seems like NBA fans are getting out of hand. Like, there was no fans in stands for such a long time, and now you have fans all of a sudden coming back, they're back in the stands, and you're having all these instances all of a sudden in the first couple games of the playoffs. So I don't know what the NBA can do to prevent this, but it seems like it's kind of getting out of control.
Yeah, and then you have the Knicks fans chanting, "We want Brooklyn," when the series is tied 1-1, and they wouldn't even face them until they beat the Sixers in the next round either. So, yeah,
they declared a riot in downtown New York City because they won a playoff game and were acting like they won the championship. Yeah, it out of control. That's the best way I can phrase it.
Yeah. Hopefully, fans. I don't know. If you want to just take it for being popcorn, that's one thing. Like, I kind of understand that. I don't understand the people dying on the hill that's soft that you're mad that they dropped popcorn on it. But whatever. But the thing is, it's like whether it's popcorn or those same Philly fans that threw batteries on the field at a baseball game and stuff like that. It's just like when you buy a ticket to a game, you're signing a waiver that you are not going to do that kind of stuff. And whether it's popcorn or not, like, you shouldn't throw anything at the players or disrespect them in that way other than just, normal heckling and trash talk is usually fine as long as it's not like racist or anything like that. But yeah, it's like there's no reason to dump a thing of popcorn, and that person should absolutely be banned for life, in my opinion, from events there.
Yes, and I think he has. So, I mean, that's the only way the NBA can handle it. I don't see how they can, what more they can do. You have a couple of players calling for the NBA to do more to protect the players, but I don't really know, not letting fans sit courtside, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not selling popcorn, that's not going to happen. Like, what can they realistically do?
Nothing really. Just take care of the people who do it and ban them. And, yeah, just make sure people know there's consequences for doing that. I listened to kind of blanking on the name of the comedian, but I saw some on Twitter back when the Malice at the Palace happened with the Pacers and the Pistons, and he was saying how much people were saying it was bad for the NBA, but he said he loved it because all these punks that thought they were bad, yelling at people from the stands, "Come fight me, bro" type people. They actually got those guys to come in the stands after them and got knocked out and stuff, and that was hilarious because those guys thought they could actually beat up these physical freak athletes, and they're mostly fat white people, and
Yep.
and it just there's no need for that, but I almost kind of wish they just let him go at that person and
so
get him a boxing ring. I don't want him to really fight. I'm not saying that for real, but I almost in the back of my mind, it's kind of we'll just let Russell Westbrook have 1 minute with him in a ring or something and settle it there. That would be the true punishment.
So you're a proponent of the Charles Barkley idea where each player once a game can bring down a fan to center court and then just beat him up.
Yeah, I don't know
if you heard
about that extreme, but yeah, it's just the threat of that happening would cause so many less people to do anything stupid because they wouldn't want to get embarrassed in front of everyone, you know?
Yep. Hockey glass all around the arena, that's a terrible idea. I don't know. It's not enough of an issue, and it's not a dangerous issue at this point. Like, I don't know. But, like, the only reason that's a thing in hockey is because it has to be because the puck's flying around. You don't want that flying into the first row of the stands. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like, at this point, I don't really know if there's a good solution for the NBA. I mean, fans knowing that they'll get banned for life makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's almost like a ban for life isn't enough for these people, though, because fans have been banned for this type of stuff before, and fans are still doing it. So maybe, I don't know. Like, it'd have to be something criminal, but I don't know how you can, like, turn that into criminal charges or anything.
Like, dropping popcorn on someone is an assault charge or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But, like, yeah, I don't know. So there's no, like, law, like, oh, messing with athletes, you know, spitting on it. Like, I don't know. There's no, like, specific law for that or anything. But, I mean, you spit on an athlete, that should be, like, a misdemeanor, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because you're basically spitting on a guy who is not allowed to defend himself, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's despicable. So, I don't know. I don't know what they can realistically do, but hopefully fans chill.
I mean, I know, like we said, it's just popcorn, but, like, maybe just any sort of projectile. Because where do you draw the line? Like, if someone threw, like, a rock at a player, like... oh, well, how heavy was the rock? Or, you know, like, maybe it's just, like, any kind of throwing at someone. That could absolutely be considered assault, even if it's popcorn or whatever. Yeah, to me, like, the last game I went to when there was only 1,900 fans, there wasn't really anything over the, like, Jumbotron or anything in specific to, like, fan activity. But in recent years, there's been a lot. Like, there's always a disclaimer, like, please don't throw anything on the court or, you know, that kind of stuff. So just more of that, more awareness that there are penalties for doing that. But the thing about the last game I went to was the ushers in each section were, like, on top of people, you know, pulling down their masks and things like that. So you don't want to put that much like responsibility on ushers and stuff, especially when the stands become full again. But maybe just beef up security a little bit or something. But it's still not going to stop someone from dropping popcorn on someone if they want to, or running onto the court if they want to. So yeah, like you said, there's not really a lot you can do.
Yep. So anyway, hopefully things get better. Hopefully Portland fans aren't like Knicks fans or Nuggets fans or Sixers fans. Hopefully we're a little bit better than that. I know Zach Collins was like in tweets saying wanting Portland fans to give it to the Nuggets players just like the Nuggets fans gave it to them. But if you're going to the game tonight, don't say anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid. Just not worth it. Don't stoop to the level of some of these other fan bases. Don't get yourself banned from the Moda Center for life. Just doesn't make sense. So hopefully things get better. Anyway, you ready to talk playoff series?
Yes.
Eric. Okay, so I don't have the graphics, so I mean we can start wherever. Tuesday there was 3 games. Wednesday there was 3 games that we have to cover. There's ESPN auto playing an ad again. So my Celtics prediction ain't looking too good. Nets up 2-0. They handled the Celtics pretty easily. It was a much more high-scoring game than Game 1. KD had 26 points, 8 rebounds to lead him. Jason Tatum has not shown up in this series. If he showed up, there's a chance that they win Game 1. Game 2 was a little bit more out of hand.
No gaming options is...
Oh my goodness. Okay, there. I muted the whole entire page because ESPN sucks. Yeah, I mean, they just don't have enough firepower off the bench right now. Their bench is looking pretty rough. Peyton Pritchard has not played well in his first playoff stint. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the series? Over?
Probably, yeah. I didn't expect it to be a very lengthy series, and Boston missed their chance to take game one when Brooklyn seemed to just kind of sleepwalk through that game until the fourth quarter. And then, yeah, I think we saw what Brooklyn can do when they actually put a full game together, and they're going to be pretty tough to beat for any team, let alone a shorthanded Boston team.
I mean, here's the thing, though. It's just like, I'm looking at this Boston roster. You still got Kemba. You got Fournier. You got Tatum. I mean, Tristan Thompson was 7 for 9 yesterday. Marcus Smart. I mean, they're not shooting well. And Brooklyn was a really bad defensive team this year. You know, when you look at their roster, they're playing Blake Griffin, they're playing Kyrie, they're playing James Harden, they're playing Joe Harris. You know what I mean? Those are 4 guys that are average to below average defenders in their starting lineup. Boston should be scoring better than this. And Tatum 3 for 12, 3 for 12 on Tuesday in game 2, had 9 points. Only played 21 minutes.
For the record, analytically, Harden has been the best defender through 2 games in the playoffs, I believe.
Small sample size. But still, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a good defensive team. Boston has to shoot better. I'm kind of confused why, because I haven't watched, this series is the series I've watched the least. I'm confused why Boston is really struggling to score. Because that's what I was looking at going into the series is, Brooklyn has, I like kind of their top 4. I think Blake Griffin at this point is just very meh, and nobody else on their team, I think, is an above-average NBA player, right? And they struggled offensively. Boston has the guy, they got a Marcus Smart to put up against one of the guards. They got Jason Tatum to put up against KD, one of the better defenders to put on KD. It's just if Boston could score the ball at a high clip, they could be in the series, but they haven't done that.
Yeah, I just think Boston hasn't seemed to figure it out all year, even with that talent. They struggled through the regular season. And then once Brown went down, I think they kind of realized their season was over, and they gave their best shot in game 1. I think they're just kind of checked out at this point. And some teams do that, especially when you have a major injury to a guy like Jaylen Brown. But it's going to be. I guess they do still have 3 games in Boston, so you got to at least win game 3 and try to make it a series. But I just don't think they have enough of a team that's feeling confident enough to win right now because of everything that's happened this season.
Yes. Second game on Tuesday, you had the Lakers beating the Suns 109-102. Anthony Davis wakes up. He has 34 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks. LeBron has 23 points, 9 assists. Schroeder has 24 points for them. Drummond has 15. Outside of that, they didn't really get any sort of contribution from anybody else, but it didn't matter. Despite the Lakers shooting only 30% from 3, they're able to get a 109-102 win. They only turned over the ball 7 times. So outside of 3-point shooting, their offense was pretty good. Phoenix had 31 from Devin Booker. He had 17 free throws, was 17 for 17. For comparison's sake, Anthony Davis was 18 for 21. So Devin Booker did not shoot the most free throws in this game despite shooting 17. DeAndre Ayton has another good game. He has 22 points, 10 rebounds. He's played well in his first playoff stint. Chris Paul, 23 minutes, 6 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Him being hurt really hurts. It sucks for the Suns.
Yeah.
Because if Chris Paul was healthy, he's likely playing 40 minutes and playing a lot better than this, and there's a decent chance Phoenix wins this game. So, I don't know. Him being hurt kind of throws a wrench in things. And they were still in this game, though. Phoenix actually led in the fourth quarter at one point in this game, despite Chris Paul being an absolute non-factor. You know what I mean? You take Chris Paul off this team, it's looking a lot like last year's Phoenix Suns team that wasn't a playoff team, all right? Booker, Ayton, Bridges, Saric. Now, they've had players develop this year, but it is impressive how they were able to claw back in this game. They were down 15. They were able to claw back, actually take a 1-point lead, despite Chris Paul pretty much being a non-factor. And then the Lakers pulled away late. So, did you catch this game by chance?
Yeah, I watched most of it. I don't know. They seem, when Chris Paul isn't himself, it's kind of like the Boston thing to me. I feel like even though they did come back and made it a game, like you said, took the lead, I just feel like they kind of struggle with their identity and they kind of like didn't know what to do. And I felt like Cameron Payne did a pretty good job of trying to stay aggressive, but I felt like most of the rest of the team wasn't very aggressive once Paul was out of the lineup. And then when he came back in, yeah, it's tough when you can obviously tell he can't really do much on the floor. It's almost like maybe he's hurting them by trying to play at times, but they also need him at 100% for this playoff. So yeah, it's just a tough situation for them. And then on the other end, the Lakers, I mean, I don't know if LeBron's just scared to hurt his ankle or what, but he's definitely not like taking the ball inside or driving or being aggressive on offense, and that's going to be a problem for the Lakers if that continues throughout the playoffs.
Yep. The thing with the Suns is they really only have three guys that can consistently create on their team, and when Chris Paul's hurt, it goes down to two. The three guys that can create is Campaign, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Other guys like Torrey Craig, Saric, Cam Johnson, Miles Bridges, Jay Crowder, Ayton. I'm not confident in them being able to create offense for themselves consistently or for others consistently. Not saying that Miles Bridges can't take the ball, go get his own shot. It's just not something that I feel like you can rely on. Michael. What the hell's wrong with me?
You said
not
Miles.
Miles. Oh yeah, Mikal
Bridges.
The Villanova one. Yeah. Not like Mikal Bridges can't, grab the ball and maybe go create a shot, but he's 2 for 6 in 27 minutes. Jay Crowder, he's pretty much a spot up shooter. He's 2 for 8 from the field, 1 for 6. Saric shoots 1 shot in 15 minutes and has no assists. Craig, 5 minutes, he's 1 for 2. He's kind of a spot up 3-and-D guy. They don't have that's why they need Chris Paul healthy, because they don't have enough guys that can go and create, That's the thing with Portland this year. You got a Norman Powell as that third guy. Carmelo can go create his own shot. Anthony at times can create his own shot. They don't have many guys that you can rely on to create their own shot.
Well, and then Crowder's 1 for 13 from 3. That's not going to get it done. He's got to hit some shots. And we saw Pinwheel Empire right before this series started tweet out that they blame Olshey for signing Derek Jones over a guy like Jay Crowder. And yeah, we're seeing that maybe that wasn't the best tweet to put out so far.
Yeah,
I mean, Crowder could still have a good playoffs, but
Crowder shot 39% from 3 this year, but that hasn't been who he was. I think he overachieved in terms of shooting the ball this year, because the 3 years before that he was 32, 33, and 34%. It's not like he's a notably good shooter. This year he was shooting 39%, and maybe he got higher shot quality, but those years that I'm talking about, the previous 3 years, it's he's playing in Miami, he's playing in Utah, played for Cleveland a little bit. I don't even remember that, honestly. But, yeah, I mean, he was in that Isaiah Thomas trade, wasn't he? Yeah, that's right. But still, he wasn't a consistent, he wasn't a good three-point shooter the 3 years prior to this, and then he has a good three-point shooting year in 60 games. You have to wonder if that's kind of an aberration or if that's improving his three-point shot. But he's always been a guy on the outside looking in, because obviously we've never had him. He just seems like the guy who will have 3 games where he's just on fire and making everything, and then 3 games where he literally can't buy a bucket. And right now it seems like he's in one of those stretches where he just can't buy a bucket.
Yeah, and if you look at his career, I want to say it's around 32, 33% in the playoffs shooting the 3. So it's not like he's ever been consistently good shooting the 3, to your point.
Yep. Third game. By the way, the Game 3 of this Lakers-Suns series is tonight, so that's a very pivotal game.
And why our game is on NBA TV and not
yes,
ESPN.
Yes, 100%. Eric, the third game on Tuesday. You got the Dallas Mavericks going up 2-0 on the road against the Clippers. They win 100. They went 127 to 121. Luka's been playing insane in the playoffs during his young career. He has 39.7 assists, 7 rebounds, 16 for 29 from the field, 5 for 13 from the three-point line, 2 for 7 from the free throw line. That's strange. But Tim Hardaway Jr. has another good game. He had 28 points. Kristaps Porzingis woke up. He was 8 for 12. He had 20 points. Kleba, 13. They got Richardson and Brunson off the bench. I didn't realize they were bringing Richardson off the bench now. I haven't been able to catch the start of these Clippers-Mavericks games. He has 9. Brunson has 9. They got some solid depth. I don't know. How much of this is like the Mavericks playing well, and how much of this is just the Clippers choking once again?
See, this is the danger. I mean, they could obviously still win this series, but this is the problem when you absolutely tank to try and play a certain team and to avoid another team. And this is why I'm always in favor of just getting the best seed possible and letting whatever happen. Yes, I'd rather play the Nuggets than the Clippers, but like honestly, like we'd probably be down 2-0 to the Clippers right now if they just beat OKC, right? And then they're talking about how they're going to maybe sweep the first round instead of getting maybe losing in the first round. But this is also why it doesn't make sense when people say you have to make an all-in move. You have to do it. You can't just like build a team consistently and put the pieces around it, because like honestly, Kawhi's a free agent this summer. If he leaves, they lose in the first round and he's gone. They are screwed for like 7 years.
I'd say a decade.
Yeah, so
because they don't have their picks for like 6 years, and then it's going to take another 4 just to cash in on picks that they do have.
Right, and if all they got out of that was a second round defeat, which they lost a 3-1 lead, and then got lost to the Mavericks in the first round the next year. I mean, that is just really pathetic considering the talent level on that team. And yeah, I mean, I hope it happens. I'd love to see it. The more teams that get out of this that we have no chance of beating, the better, in case we, happen to win the series or whatever. But like, I think the Clippers are completely in their own head, and they will not be able to get out of their own way. It's just the pressure of not choking, I think, is too great for them right now, and it's showing in these games, in my opinion.
Well, I was watching them, dude. They're running drop scheme.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, it was very Stottsy defensively. Like, they have great defensive personnel, too. They're starting Pat Beverly, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, and Zubac, and then they have Ibaka off the bench. Okay, little side question before I continue on with my point. Why is Serge Ibaka only playing 6 minutes?
The only thing I think of is if he didn't play like the last month or so of the season, maybe even longer. So the only thing I could think of is game 1 he was on a minutes restriction, and then maybe game 2 he tweaked it or something, or it's just not, like Kevin says, not in game shape or whatever. But yeah, that
if he's healthy, you got to play him.
If you put in Ibaka instead of Zubac in that situation defensively, there's not a weakness on that lineup. So
Zubac ain't even bad though.
Yeah,
like he's a solid defender. He's not great. He's not as good as Ibaka, but he's solid.
It's like the Canner thing. It's like people are like, "Oh, you can't trap with him. He's not quick enough." It's like, well, he's been fine in those situations when I've watched him trap. So like, at least do that. And then I mean,
they're already lighting you up.
Yeah. And then you have like Rondo. It came out today that he was calling out all of the Mavericks plays like he did against us in the Pelican series, and they still can't defend them. Like it's pretty sad. And I think, a lot of this is the greatness of Luka. I mean, you're seeing him absolutely take over a series, and it's something that only the truly elite special players can do. Is despite getting defended by some really good wing defenders, he is still dominating this series. And I think
they need to trap him. They're like not doing anything to take the ball out of his hands, though. I know. We watch Dame, and they just teams sell out on Dame, and the Clippers aren't doing that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so confusing to me. He is going up against good, good defenders, but it's like they've kind of avoided putting Kawhi on Luka, especially in game 1, and then they're running drop scheme. It's just like they're not giving Luka your best shot defensively at all, not even close. So not to take away from what Luka's doing, he's playing great. It's just like I want to see him do it against the type of defense that Dame faces. Now Carlisle's a little smarter than Stotts. He wouldn't just run Luka into the trap, and Luka's taller. It's a little easier for him to pass out of the trap. So, I'm not saying that he wouldn't succeed against it. I just want to see it because I see it with Dame. It gets frustrating. And then I watch Luka, and they're just running drop scheme, even though they have great defenders. It just baffles my mind.
I think it's a little bit of, once again, I hate these stubborn coaches who think that, oh, if we just do it our way, we're fine. So he probably thinks that they don't need to trap because, Kawhi and Paul George should be getting through those picks. Beverly should be getting through picks. And they're getting caught on those and not recovering in time. And then you got, like I said, an elite playmaker with the ball who's absolutely taking advantage of them not getting through those. And it's really showing. And, they're going to have to switch something up. And, this is the reason why Doc isn't their coach anymore, because they felt like he didn't make the proper adjustments. So if they go through another year with a different coach that doesn't that then does the similar things and not make the proper adjustments and not get them out of the first round, that's just devastating for that franchise. And, this is a franchise that's never made it out of the second round anyway, and that's why I didn't predict them to make it past the second round. But yeah, it's just, this is, when you combine the last 2 years, if they lose this series, I cannot think of a more epic failure over a 2-year stretch than this Clippers team, at least in recent memory.
Yeah, here's the thing, is it's not even Paul George playing bad. He had 28 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists on 12 for 22 yesterday. So it's not like they can even blame him. He was solid in game 1. He was good in game 2. Kawhi had 41 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, was 14 for 21. Your 2 stars played really good, and you still lose because, for whatever reason, a team with Kawhi, Paul George, Pat Bev, Ibaka, Rondo, Batum, for some reason they can't defend. Dallas shoots 53% from the arc and 59% from the field. That's just insane, man. They got to figure out how to defend, because offensively they're fine, and offensively I think they'll be fine. Dallas isn't a great defensive team in terms of their personnel, and they're a team that runs drop at times, where it's just why in the world would you run drop against Damian Lillard in the bubble and let him score 61 on you? Yeah. That's Dallas. So Clippers just got to figure out a way to defend them. If they can figure out a way to slow down Luka and defend them better, this could still be a series. But my final question on this, what's your prediction for this series? Who wins? Just who wins? Not even games, just with Dallas up 2-0, who do you think wins this series?
Part of this is probably wishful thinking, but them winning 2 games in LA, I think Dallas is going to win this series now. And I would have never imagined that. Even after game 1, I didn't think it was going to be possible, but I think Dallas now has the upper hand in the series.
Yep. I would lean towards Dallas. I still think it's more of a series than some people are acting, but I'm leaning Dallas too. Let's move on to the games that occurred yesterday, which was, let me pull this up here. The first game was Sixers-Wizards. Sixers blow out the Wizards by 25. This isn't really much of a series, I don't think.
No, this should be a quick series, and I don't think, especially if Westbrook is hurt, I don't think the Wizards have enough to get back in this series. They might take a game, either 3 or 4, but the Sixers should absolutely win this in 5.
Here's the thing, though. Westbrook, I don't think, helped them at all yesterday. He was 2 for 10 from the field in 29 minutes, 10 points, 11 assists, 4 turnovers, minus 16. I don't know. It's almost like they're just going to need Bradley Beal to score 40 points a game. at this point, which isn't going to happen, but that's kind of what they need. Maybe with Westbrook out, maybe he shoots more, because he was 14 for 28 yesterday, so maybe he just kind of pushes the issue a little bit more, and it's maybe better for him. I don't know. Yeah, they just, talent-wise, I mean, the Wizards shot 9% from 3 in this game, 2 for 22. So, yeah, they lose by 25. Yeah, I think this is an easy win for the Sixers at this point. I think Washington needed to steal one of the first two just to have some momentum, have some confidence. They were in it in Game 1, not in it in Game 2. Now Westbrook might be hurt. Yeah, that's a series that I won't be watching too heavily unless the Wizards can maybe win a Game 3. Mm-hmm. Two other games. You had Knicks-Hawks. Okay. The Knicks beat the Hawks 101-92. The Knicks were down like 12 points in the third quarter. They fought back. Reggie Bullock had a big game. He had 15 points. Hit multiple threes in the second half. You had Derrick Rose having a big game off the bench. He had 26 points. Julius Randle continues to struggle in his first playoffs as the guy. He was 5 for 16, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. RJ Barrett, not efficient either, 5 for 14, 13 points. Alec Burks, who had a huge game 1, was only 4 for 13 and 11 points off the bench. As a team, New York only shot 38%, shot 36% from 3, but still got a 9-point win because the Hawks end up shooting 37% from the field and 27% from 3. This was a defensive game. For the Hawks, you had Trae Young with 30. He was pretty much the only efficient scorer for them. He's 11 for 20. DeAndre Hunter, 3 for 10. Got to the line 11 times, though, so he was able to pour in 18 points. Bogdanovich also had 18, 8 for 21, 2 for 13 from 3, though. Gallinari continues to be asleep at this point. He was 2 for 10, 2 for 9 from 3, only 6 points for him. Herter had 10 off the bench. That was kind of the box score for the Hawks. But this is just a defensive game. Knicks fans thought they won the championship. Little do they know they have to win 15 more games to win the championship. But it's a good. The Knicks need to win this game at home to at least split the first 2 games.
Yeah, this series has been entertaining. I don't know if it's just the Knicks crowd. I mean, it's been, the atmosphere there has just seemed like incredible. Outside of that one fan that spit on Trae. But I so want this to go 7 games. I want to see Trae Young in Madison Square Garden, right back in that atmosphere against the Knicks in a Game 7, all the series on the line. I want to see that. So I'm hoping this is a battle for 7 games.
Yep, Savik says Knicks fans reminds him of Browns fans. I can see that comparison.
Yeah.
I can see that comparison.
Big
yeah,
playoff drought. Yeah,
this should go 7. I would love for this to go 7. I am rooting for the Knicks to win this series because I think Knicks versus Sixers second round would be more interesting than a Hawks versus Sixers second round. And I feel like the Knicks would have a better chance at beating the Sixers than the Hawks. I don't know why. I feel like the Hawks are an easier matchup for the Sixers. It's a little easier to kind of guard a Trae Young and stop. Because here's the thing. Trae Young makes everything go for that team. Mm-hmm. If you're able to slow him down, not let him get into the lane, kind of hold him, you're going to have success against the Hawks. Whereas the Knicks, I feel like, have more weapons. You know, you can have a Burks go off like you did in Game 1. Derrick Rose went off in Game 2. Julius Randle, of course. You got Bullock, Barrett. Bullock's a sniper. Barrett's a guy that didn't have a good Game 2, but he's able to knock down shots, knock down some threes, and he's able to attack the rim as well. You got Quickly. They got players that can step up. If you take one guy out, they got other guys that can step up. The Hawks got like Bogdanovich and Hunter, but just like those guys aren't. I'm not as confident in those guys being as dynamic with the ball to like step up if a team slows down a Trae Young. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I kind of feel like the Hawks are the same. I feel like they have some guys that can step up. They got
I like the Knicks weapons better. At least just guys that can create.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a Bogdanovich and a Hunter and a lot of those guys just play off of Trae Young.
One thing is, if I saw this right, I think Mitchell Robinson might be back sometime soon too.
I thought he was out for the season.
He was, but I thought I saw he was like questionable for the game last night and might actually play at some point, depending on how far they go. I could have seen something wrong. But...
There's a rumor that says Mitchell Robinson several steps away from returning to the court, and that was as of a day ago. And 23 hours ago, Mitchell Robinson not close to making Knicks playoff return. So, doesn't sound like he's going to be back.
Yeah.
But who knows if they'd even play him at this point. I like that Obi's had some moments. He was 2 for 4, 1 for 2 from 3, 8 points in 12 minutes. Had a block, too. I like that he's playing well, because he kind of struggled his rookie year, but was playing a little bit better near the end of the season. So, it's always fun to see him do well, because that's a guy I like. But yeah, that's Hawks Knicks. This series tied at 1-1. The final game that we have to cover before we'll talk about this Blazers Nuggets game 3. You had the Jazz beating the Grizzlies 141-129. The Jazz had... I thought the Jazz might reach 150. They lit up the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies, for what it's worth, kind of stayed.
Yeah, they kept making
close,
it a game where maybe they could come back.
Yeah, it wasn't like a situation where the Jazz could empty the end of the bench with 4 or 5 minutes left. So Memphis has 129 points. The Jazz win 141-129. The Jazz end up shooting 54% from the field and 49% from 3. Donovan Mitchell, in his return from injury, has 25 points. Put Dylan Brooks in foul trouble. So Reese, your guy Dylan Brooks, he doesn't shut down every guard, man. Gobert has 21 points, 9 for 11 from the field. Mike Conley 20, Clarkson 16, Ingles 14. That's kind of their guys there. Bogdanovich 18 as well. I forgot to list him. Though that's all of their guys had solid games. Clarkson was 4 for 11. I guess that's the only one that kind of struggled, but he's also a plus 16 for what it's worth. But you had Mitchell 8 for 19, Conley 8 for 16, Gobert 9 for 11, Bogdanovich 7 for 13. O'Neal had 14 points, 5 for 7. Ingles 4 for 4. They were knocking down shots. On the Grizzlies side, Ja Morant 47 points, 7 assists. I would take him over Valanciunas, Reese. Just going to air out Reese and all his bad takes here. But Ja Morant, 47 points. Phenomenal game from him. 15 for 26, 15 for 20 from the free throw line as well. Brooks was 10 for 14, had 23 points. Jaren Jackson Jr. had 16 points on only 6 shots. He got 11 free throws. So maybe that's a stepping stone for him playing better. He struggled this year but hasn't played much. He was injured for most of the season. Valanciunas, 18 points. They had some good performances. Didn't get much off the bench. Only 14 bench points for them. Yeah, I don't know. This was an interesting game. You got Mitchell back, and the Jazz just shot insane. But if the Jazz have a normal shooting night, this is anybody's game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's necessarily discouraging for the Grizzlies. They were able to score. They were able, Ja Morant probably isn't scoring 47 again, but the Jazz probably aren't shooting 54% from the field and 49% from 3 again as well. So it was a competitive game for how well the Jazz was shooting.
Yeah, I'm all for this being a long, fun series. I think Utah should still win, but the Grizzlies, they stole home court and they're going back to Memphis. Game 3, much like with the game we're about to talk about, it's going to be pivotal for the Jazz, and I feel like the Jazz have all the pressure, and at this point Memphis is just playing with house money and can play loose and relaxed, and if they lose, they're still super young, and they were the 8 seed, and no big deal. They've already proven that they can play well at times and are a team to look out for the future, and Ja is absolutely on his way to becoming a star. And if they happen to win, the Jazz might have some of that Clippers pressure on them in the following games, just to close out that series. And yeah, they could definitely make this very interesting if they win Game 3. But I just think in the end the Jazz are too good of a team to lose this series, but would definitely be a fun story.
Yeah, I think this series will be more competitive than people thought. I think it already is. But, I was kind of saying that before the series. I feel like people were kind of sleeping on Memphis. That's a fun team, young team, plays with a lot of energy, plays a style that's kind of a contrast to Utah. So that's the thing. I feel like if you're going to upset a team as an 8 seed, you need to play fast. You need to play differently than the team you're playing against. Maybe a different, I feel like the recipe for like an 8-1 upset is an 8 seed that plays fast versus a 1 seed that plays slow. Because if the 8 seed can speed up the game and kind of impose their pace and play at a pace that the 1 seed is a little bit uncomfortable with, then you have a chance for success. So I feel like that's kind of the dynamic here at play. That's why I thought this series would be a little bit more competitive. So we'll see if the Jazz can figure things out, if they just need Donovan Mitchell, or we'll see if the Grizzlies can at least win one at home to make this series go at least 6.
Yeah.
So anyway, Blazers play tonight, 7:30. By the way, there's a game tipping off right now. That's Bucks Heat. That's on TNT. And then Suns Lakers at 7 p.m. Pacific time, also on TNT. Blazers game tips off at 7:30. That should be more around 7:40 unless they tip off it. I don't know. The tip-off times with playoff games have been weird. Because normally during the season, it's like 10 minutes after the scheduled tip-off time is when games start. But there's been games that have started like right on the dot. And there have been, our game 2 started at like 7:22 or something like that when it was tip-off time was 7. So we shouldn't have to wait for a game. So it might tip off right at 7:30. I'm not entirely sure, but that is basically the slate of games tonight.
Yep.
Adjustments for go ahead.
Obviously, Milwaukee or Miami needs to win that game. They're probably done if they lose that one. And then
they're done if they lose out. They ain't coming back from a 3-0 deficit, man. So must win for Miami for sure.
I mean, who knows what Chris Paul will do tonight, but that's going to be a pretty exciting game. It's a shame it's on pretty much at the same time as our game.
Mm-hmm. And then hopefully the Suns can take care of business against the Lakers. Go Suns, if any of those guys are in here. But yeah, so Blazers adjustments tonight. Keys to the game tonight. Any combination of those. What do you got, Eric?
Adjustments? They don't need to make those, remember?
The adjustment, yeah, they do. They need to play harder. That's the adjustment.
Play harder, yes. Because the last 7 years when we've been up against a team and we haven't played well, or something happens to where, a player gets taken out of the game or whatever, the solution is always to just play harder, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's worked out
all
so
basketball
well
is, man. But for real, adjustments tonight, you got any on the top of your mind?
Honestly, I'd like to see more structure on offense. I would like to see them run some other stuff other than ISO and pick and roll to death. I would like to see them move the ball like they did in Game 1. I would like to see them not make as many mental mistakes on especially like getting back on defense.
If Aaron Gordon is guarding Dame off the ball as well.
Yep.
Run Dame off the ball, run Dame off ball screens. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to be a lot harder for Aaron Gordon to keep up with Dame if Dame's running without the ball off of screens.
Yep. And then, I mean, if Gordon is on Dame, though, you almost want Jokic. I mean, this is going to sound crazy, but you almost want Jokic to trap, or be the trapper, because if Dame gets through that or they pass to Nurkic, they have that's their two biggest guys and best rim protectors. So there's no one back there to defend the rim, or that there's no one if they do collapse the paint, then a shooter's open. But the problem is we don't ever get aggressive in those situations and take advantage of them. So that's what I would do, but I don't think that's what we're going to see tonight. I think we'll just see Dame going one-on-one on Gordon and just thinking that he's going to hit the shots that he missed in the second half of that game 2.
Well, here's the thing: you run Dame off ball screen off of Nurkic with Jokic as a guy. If Dame can get separation from Aaron Gordon, then he's either open or Jokic has to help out. That might force a switch with Jokic on Dame. You definitely want that matchup. If not, if Jokic has to help out, then Nurkic as the roll man is going to be an easier pass to hit Nurkic as the rolling big there. Dame running off a screen without like Aaron Gordon being right up on him. Because that's the thing. If you run through an on-ball screen, just a normal pick and roll, you already got Aaron Gordon on you. It's easier to kind of trap that harder if you're Jokic. And it's easier for Gordon to stay attached enough to make it hard to split. And it's easier for Gordon to stay attached enough to get close enough to Jokic to make it hard to kind of thread the needle between those two defenders. If you're running off the ball and you get separation from Aaron Gordon, and then he's fighting through a screen, and then you're catching it, he's trailing behind you. There's a lot more space for Dame to shoot. There is a lot more space for Dame to hit that pocket pass to Nurkic. If Gordon gets too far behind, it might force a switch, and then you got Jokic on Dame, and you want that matchup, and maybe you can get a foul or two on Jokic. It just would create better opportunities and kind of play to what you were saying. You know, if Aaron Gordon is chasing Dame through screens and he's not close enough and Jokic has to help up, then you thread the needle to Nurkic, and Gordon and Jokic are up at the 3-point arc, right? So Nurkic, go dunk the ball. If a Michael Porter Jr. helps over, hopefully Norman Powell is cutting baseline and Nurk just dumps it off to him and he dunks. You know, that is the way to run things. You know, it's not just running Dame towards the ball off of one screen. You can get a little bit more creative than that, but that's why you got to run him off the ball, and that's what I would try and do, assuming AG is on Dame.
Yep, I absolutely agree with that. And I don't know if everyone knows the Stotts comments from yesterday. So let me just read that before getting your opinion on this. So Terry Stotts doesn't think tactical adjustments are needed entering game 3. He said, "I'm confident with what we do. I don't think it's about adjustments. I think Denver's adjustment was that they played harder and more aggressive. If that's the adjustment, we need to make the same adjustment." What are your thoughts on what he said yesterday?
I mean, he's not going to say what he's going to do adjustments-wise, so it could just be a front, you know, like, I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see. Like, okay. I don't care what he said. I care what he does on the court, right? And I'm not expecting him to say, yeah, we're going to use Dame off the ball and, like, give the Nuggets things to prepare for. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just going to wait and see. I don't really care what he said, to be honest. I just want to see what we do on the court. Now, if that's how he coaches, then I will light him up and say, see, he meant it. Because there's a lot of people out there that are saying, oh, why, man, people just want to hate on Stotts. You know, they're just buying what Stotts is saying, but Stotts isn't going to like, show his cards. You know what I mean? And I kind of get their point. The problem is that Stotts in the past has kind of coached like how he was talking yesterday, where he hasn't made adjustments.
Kinda?
I mean, yes, he's coached like that. I mean, yes, Eric, yes. He is coached like that in the past where he has not made adjustments. So I don't fault people for believing him either. You know what I mean? For me, it's just like, let's just wait and see. Because if he coaches like that, then it just justifies anybody who believes him. Like, and it shows, see, people were right for believing him. Everybody was saying that, no, this isn't what he thinks. He's actually going to adjust. He's just not going to say it. You were wrong if he doesn't adjust tonight. So it's kind of like wait and see. I just don't want it to be something more like he actually does adjust, and then people will say, you know, see, he adjusted. He just wasn't going to tell you, and you guys wanted to hate on him for it. Like, I'm just going to wait and see. And if he doesn't adjust, then I will light him up for it like I always do.
Here's the problem, though. What does that mean? Because a lot of those people saying that don't understand, like, what that looks like scheme-wise if he does make adjustments, right? So it just basically comes down to whether we win this game or not. But the problem is, we're more talented than Denver. Even if we don't make adjustments, I still think we should win this game. Like, that's not an excuse for not making adjustments or not, like, putting your team in the best spot to win. So I'm going to be frustrated like if these people, if we don't make adjustments and we win just because we're the more talented team and all these people are like, oh, told you so, because we could absolutely win this game we can win the series playing this way. This is one of the few teams, and why we wanted this matchup is because we can get away with not changing anything. But there has not been a single series under Stotts that we've won because of changing an adjustment or doing something different. It's because of series like this where we just play better than the other team, and it just works out that we run the same thing and they happen to win the game, or someone gets hot or whatever. I mean, like in the OKC series, even we were down 15 halfway through the fourth quarter of game 5 and have like a miracle comeback and win the game. Dame scores 50, hits the shot at the buzzer. Like, that wasn't a well-coached game, though. Like, we were getting our butts kicked most of that game. And, it's kind of frustrating that people think it's directly related to whether we win or lose. And we've said this all year when we play crappy teams or teams that, even though we're missing our second and third best player, we're still more talented than them. We still have Damian Lillard, and we're playing the Chicago Bulls. Like, we should win that game, Like it just drives me crazy that people think that, oh, he's got this secret plan. And we got fooled all year. We got fooled before the season started. We got fooled several times throughout the year that when they said that they were going to change things and didn't. And every single time, Stotts doesn't ever seem to think his offense needs to change. He doesn't think that, we have to do anything. I don't know what you're doing.
Just let them be fooled. Just let them be. They can be fooled. That's their, their L, basically.
But I'm saying, like, why would you trust him to be, like, doing gamesmanship right now?
I'm not, and, I see their point. I don't necessarily agree with it. Like, I see both sides of the issue. You know what I mean? Like, I see, like, a good head coach wouldn't say his adjustments, but then he would adjust. You know what I mean? So they think he's a better coach than he is, so that's why they're thinking like that. Like, it makes sense if you think Stotts is a good coach, it makes sense to think, oh, it's gamemanship. I don't think that because I don't think he's a good coach, but it makes sense from their point of view, right? From our point of view, and from a lot of other people's point of view, it makes sense that, like, this is how he thinks because this is how he's talked in the past and coached in the past. You know what I mean? So it's just like, for me, it's like, I'm not even going to blast him because I'm expecting very few adjustments tonight. I'm just going to wait until there's no adjustments tonight, See,
but this is my problem is, like, honestly, I think this is why you feel the same way too. Like, at least defensively, I don't think they need to make a ton of adjustments other than, like, stuff that can be controlled by, accountability and discipline and stuff like that. Like getting back on defense and making sure you're guarding the right guy, getting through picks quicker, that kind of stuff. Not overhelping, not leaving guys or taking too many steps away from your guy than you should.
Not playing Kanter one-on-one against Jokic, please no. Like, not playing Kanter at all, maybe. I mean, helping Nurkic a little bit more,
But, so those are all, like, minor defensive adjustments. Offensively, we better play more like we played, like, game 1 than game 2. But overall, like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, we could still get away with not making adjustments and win this game. But my problem has been just the insistence on how this, we'll figure it out. We'll just eventually make shots. We won't turn the ball over that many times next game or whatever. And it's just like, those aren't adjustments. Those are just hoping that something will turn out better next time.
I mean, if he coaches like that, then I'm right there with you. I don't know. There's just no point to get, like, super, in my opinion, there's no point to get super worked up about what he said. Just wait until you see what he does on the court,
Yep.
I don't know, but because trust me, like, I'm expecting that, and I'm not gonna, like, get worked up before I have to, because I'm expecting to end up annoyed tonight at his lack of adjustments. So I'm just gonna wait for it. I don't know.
But this is what we talked about all the time, though. Like, when you make adjustments in a playoff series, it might not matter. I mean, against Denver, once again, should matter. Like, we should be able to take care of them. But, if we happen to advance and we play the Warriors and our normal defense doesn't work, and then we have to make an adjustment. We make that adjustment. So maybe Stotts does make the right adjustment, but his coaching has been so bad the entire season that now that we're in a position where we need to make an adjustment to something, we don't know how to do that 100% or well enough to win a playoff series. And it scares me that after 8 straight playoff appearances, this guy's sitting there saying, "Oh, we just need to do what we do." Like, that's a stupid line, and it just drives me crazy.
Well, it's like people are surprised. Like, of course he says that. That's how he's talking the whole time. Like, if he was smart, he'd say that. If he's dumb, he says that. Like, there's no surprise. You know what I mean? Like, of course he talks like that. That's how he talks like. So it was like, it's just like, of course that's what Stotts says. It's like, okay, like, that's Stotts for you. For better or worse, that's Stotts for you. But it's like, yeah, and I 100% agree. Like, it could become a situation where we got to do things that we're not used to doing, and then we're not able to do them well enough, just like the Western Conference Finals from 2 years ago, and then we lose because we didn't do it enough during the regular season. But I'm not, when that plays out, that's what I'll be, concerned with it, focused on it, whatnot. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me trying to stress about the team less outside of games, but, like, that's just kind of my mindset. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll come out and we'll see what they do tonight. And they did move the ball well in the first game. So it's not like this team can't or will never move the ball well. I'm not necessarily expecting it, but they did have pretty good ball movement. So maybe it's something where it's like, okay, we're moving the ball well. Dame's running off the ball more. Like, there's not a 0% chance of that happening. This team plays a super stagnant isolation Damian Lillard with a ball style of offense. So that's what I'm expecting tonight. But I don't know. I mean, we'll just wait and see.
Here's my problem with that, though. Why didn't you make any adjustments in game 2 then? That's my problem. Like, you weren't prepared to make those adjustments during game 2. You even said you were prepared for the Aaron Gordon stuff to happen at some point, and then you just still did the same thing. So that's my problem. Well,
we lit him up for that. We lit him up for that.
No,
you know what I mean?
I understand.
Like, I agree with that. Like, I'm not confident in him making adjustments. That's one of the reasons why I'm not confident in it. I'm not saying this from a point of, like, I'm not confident in him adjusting. I'm just saying, like, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Like, I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah.
Well, we have the same pages open. You're on the left page. I'm on the right page, right?
Yeah.
We agree 100%.
You're just not letting it bother you. Yeah.
Yeah, like, we'll see.
Yeah. See, I mean, I got to the point this season where I specifically said on this show, I'm not going to get fooled again. Like, I do not think he is just being like, oh, I'm not going to make adjustment, and then all of a sudden, yeah, look at all these adjustments. Like, I fooled you guys. Haha. Like, I just don't think he's that type of coach.
Oh, 100%.
And it's my problem is, even if he does make adjustments and they work, it's like, well, where were those when you had all this time to prepare for this series?
100%. And then when that happens, that's what we'll be saying when that happens. You know what I mean? Why didn't you make those adjustments in game 2? Why didn't you use Dame off the ball? You realize that you need to use Dame off the ball now, but you couldn't realize that before the series? You know what I mean? Like, the timing of it? Like, why you have to wait till now to make that adjustment? Like, 100%. I'll be right there with you saying all that stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That's just kind of my mindset, is just like, we'll wait and see. And if he doesn't adjust and we lose, well, it's just closer to him being gone. So
I don't want to lose, though. I want to freaking
I don't want to lose either.
It's so frustrating. Like, yeah.
You see me on Twitter, all caps, saying person.
I know. I'm not saying you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, for anybody out there that questions, like, I want to win. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm gonna wait till the game, and then during the game, you'll see me on Twitter. If we're doing dumb stuff, I'll be ranting about it, probably more than Eric. For me, it's like I'm just waiting for the game.
I mean, once again, if you want to like Stotts, that's fine. But these people saying, like, I guess I still let it bother me, but it's like, what do you want him to do? Give out every adjustment he's going to make beforehand so they know exactly what he's going to do? Like that's not even like what he said. He said he didn't need to make any adjustments. Like he didn't say what his adjustments would be. He just said like, oh no, we don't have to do any, and it drives me crazy that people try to say like, oh don't. That's just him being like that. No, that's how Stotts really coaches, and it's. I mean, we have all the data for it, so it just drives me crazy. But yeah, I'm probably getting too worked up than I should be.
Yeah, I mean, just be in your zen mode before the game, and then once the game happens, then erupt like a volcano. That's my method to this year's playoffs.
Yeah, I just don't want to be. I'd rather enjoy my team winning tonight than because our coach did a good game.
Oh, 100%, you know. We'll see if he does. We'll see if he does. I'm not expecting it whatsoever, but maybe he might shock us. I don't know. Like I'm just yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. Honestly, I'm in a pretty good mood right now despite expecting to be pissed off in like 4 hours, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing well, man. I don't know. It's yeah, because I used to be right there with you. It's just like, oh my god, I'm dreading this game tonight. Yada yada. I don't know. I'm just trying to enjoy life, enjoy the anticipation for the game, and then see what happens. I don't know. That's kind of my mindset.
See, I mean, even if we had a good coach, I would still be like super nervous tonight. Like, I don't know. I just get that way before games.
Yeah. I get the nerves. I mean, if this was like second round conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, if we had a better coach, I might be a little bit more nervous because it's like there's no reason we should lose. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Are you guys chat? Let us know if you're more aligned with Eric's thinking heading into this game or my way of thinking. Because all the reasoning we agree on, just approaches. I don't know, just feeling a little differently heading into it.
My problem is, I mean, how nice would it be to be sitting here up 2-0 because we had a good adjustment or game plan in game 2, and now we're sitting here like talking about maybe sweeping them, or you know, even if we lost tonight, we're still in really good position, you know. So that's my main thing is like just the fact that we lost game 2 makes it that much more nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah. It looks like chat is aligned with your way of thinking of just being super nervous and oh my goodness, we're not going to adjust because Stott said he wasn't. So,
I mean, like that doesn't mean your opinion's wrong or your
it's not even an opinion. It's just like the way we're like feeling. You know what I mean? It's more of an emotional state.
Sometimes I wish I could be more zen or whatever, like you are.
Dude, I've never been zen in a playoff series, so this is new to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to adopt positive thinking, but not even positive thinking, because I don't expect Stotts to do anything positive tonight. So it's still negative thinking. I'm just trying not to worry about it. I'm just relaxing until we get to the game, because I don't disagree on any of the facts, man. Eugene said he aligns with you. You got to follow the facts. I don't disagree with any of your reasoning. I agree with everything. I'm just like, why stress about it? Why like worry about it and worry about what's being said? Why not just wait until the game and see what happens on the court and then, you know, have a reaction to that instead of like reacting to a quote the day before? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just where I'm at. But
I think for me, it's just like, if he does make adjustments, I'm going to be mad, and then I'm going to have all these people being like, see, he does make adjustments.
Why worry about that now? You know, people are going to say that, like, and I'll respond when they say it. I just, like, it's annoying when they say it. I don't want to be annoyed before they say it, because I know they're going to say it, you know? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to happen. It's just, I don't know. When they say that, I'll respond.
At least this game we play like Saturday afternoon, so it's only like a day and a half in between games versus you know, this last one we had to wait 2 days, full days off. So yeah, it's kind of nice that we get right back at it on Saturday.
Yep, I mean we'll see. I'm gonna go maybe work for an hour and a half, then try to catch the end of this Milwaukee game. Then we'll see if Portland can take care of business. I'll watch the start of that Suns game, see if the Suns can, take care of business in the first 30 minutes of that game. Hopefully they can. Actually, that game is the second TNT game, so we'll probably tip off at the same time as ours. Let's just be honest.
10 minutes.
Yeah, and then it's kind of gonna end later than ours because commercials are twice as long. But yeah, so P Punch says sounds like someone in a really bad relationship. I don't think he'll change. He keeps doing the same things, but maybe he might change. It is a very bad relationship. I agree. It is a very bad relationship with us's thoughts.
This is the difference, though. Tori's not wanting to keep the person or be in the relationship with him past this series. He's wanted to break up with them before. He just doesn't have the power to.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
You're not gonna have him abuse you once more time and then stay with him anyway. You absolutely want him gone after this. So.
He would have been gone years ago, man. Shoot, he would have been gone before my 3-year relationship started, and that's been over for a year, all right? So he would have been gone, when I was in high school, as far as I'm concerned. These opinions I had in high school, man, I've never been a fan, and you know that. Everything I said, 5 years ago is, stuff that applies today. He's always been the same, so. Anyway. Tori, go to mom's house until he leaves. What? Anyway, we gotta wrap up this stream. I don't know where chat is going with this. Who's mom's house?
He's saying it's go to a safe place until the person leaves. Or
yeah.
In a bad relationship. Yeah.
There's no safe place from Terry's thoughts, sadly, unless he's fired, and then we're living in tranquility. Hopefully I used that word right because I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, that's going to wrap up the stream. Make sure to follow us on Twitter if you haven't, at ToryJonesYT for me, at Hoopshot for Eric, at Blazers Uprise YT for the channel. Leave a like on this. It helps us out. Every time you leave a like, it makes me happy or something. I don't know. I don't campaign for likes, but just leave likes, likes are cool, and it helps the channel, so. Got into a little Twitter beef yesterday, so we might have a little crew of 15-year-olds that might be trying to leave dislikes, so we gotta counteract them, so I guess I gotta start asking for them, so we'll see, man. I basically, if you don't know what I'm talking about, people tried to leak my address yesterday. That was fun, so yeah, just leave likes for that sake. You don't even need to know the details.
Go show up at Tori's house, too. His fake house.
Don't show up at that house. It's not the right address. They leaked the wrong address. It's a mile away, man. Oh, goodness. Yeah, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you have no idea. But that's your loss or maybe your gain. I don't know. My Twitter is a mess during the playoffs, at least this year's playoffs. So, anyway, you'll see me tweeting tonight, and you'll be like, that doesn't sound like the guy on the pregame show. And I'll say, I was just waiting for the game. See? Now we're dropping the big, so, and then a caps lock rant. Gotta use the caps lock, man.
Eugene's kind of mocking you, I think. He says great graphics.
Great graphics? Upside down likes too? My goodness. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up this stream. Thank you all for tuning in.
Don't, my guy Eugene. Oh, sorry, man, for pointing that out. You didn't deserve that timeout.
He said upside down likes, then he's mocking me, man. We're wrapping up the stream anyway. That's why I did it. Eugene, I think that's his first ever. So congratulations to Eugene. You are now part of the exclusive club of people that have been banned. All right, your leader is now Isaac Thomas. We're gonna wrap up this stream, so anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day until this Blazer game, and then I hope you enjoy the Blazer game, because that means I'll be enjoying it too, because we'll be having some success. All right, so fingers crossed for a Game 3 Blazers win. We'll have you covered on the post-game show. Anything left for you to say, Eric?
No, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you after the game.
Yep, so
go Blazers.
Until later tonight, We'll see you later. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.